Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the podcast. Katie and I thoroughly enjoyed being able to catch up with the gals that put on the Wellness Collective, Claudia, Clarita, Rosanna, and we're really excited to be able to promote their 2025 event, considering that there are still spots available for you to attend. This is an event that I think has always sold out for them. And so the fact that you can still purchase a ticket is kind of unique and rare, and I don't think that opportunity will last for long. They were kind enough to give us a discount code for our listeners. So if you check below, you can sign up with that code and get 15% off to attend the Wellness Collective. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just really enjoyed this interview. I really appreciate each one of these women. And I feel like we were able to have we were able to have a more personal connection last year when we were just blown away by the Wellness Collective. They invited us to speak and not only just pampered us as speakers, but also put us up in one of their Airbnbs and the whole experience, the hospitality they extended was unreal. From speakers to the guests, I feel like each woman that I spoke to there was just totally felt so spoiled and so pampered, and they do it in one day. So, I would like the amount of refreshment and excitement for the future that you get in their one day event is like nothing I found anywhere else. So anyways, I can't recommend the Wellness Collective enough. I've told my mother and sisters about it. I'm hoping we can all go as a group. And just so grateful for what those women are doing. They really inspire me.
Folks, if you enjoy this podcast, we would really appreciate it if you're able to leave a rating or a review, maybe even share an episode that you enjoy with a friend or a family member. That's how our podcast grows and reaches more people. If you watch our podcast on YouTube, by subscribing to our channel or liking the video that also helps our podcast grow. Also, it's still kind of new, so we should probably actually talk about it, Katie. Do you know what I'm referencing?
Substack. You guys are going to get sick of us talking about Substack. But to be honest, I think we're still trying to figure this out because most things are delivered via email. We don't want to flood your emails. So I'm opting to post a lot on there without sending the email. So you aren't going to get email notified every time we are writing and updating and creating videos on there, just because I don't want to flood your inboxes. But a lot of new content is going up over on our Substack. So if you're familiar with that, then check it out. You might, it's just random stuff. You guys like writing about the run I did the other day and our Katie running club. And it's just stuff that comes to mind. And, we're specific on some of it, but then some of it's just day in and day out life. So anyways, you guys can check that out if you're familiar with Substack. And if you aren't, then we'll have a link below and you can go see what we're doing over there.
All right. Well, let's get this conversation going.
The Now That We're a Family podcast.
Ladies, thank you for sitting down and speaking with us today. Could you, for our sake, apparently, and for our audience's sake, go through and introduce each one of yourselves and just let us know, are you married? Do you have children? Where in the world do you live? What is it that you do that keeps you busy throughout a day? Can you guys do that for us?
Oh, okay. So I'm Clarita, and I am married to Ben. We just actually had our 20th wedding anniversary yesterday, and we have 5 kids, and we have 3 boys, 2 girls, ages 4 to almost 18. So we've got the big spread from like almost toddler to graduation. She just graduated from this year. So we've got the big age differences, and it's such a fun stage of life. So right now, what keeps me busy is boys' sports games. We're in the softball tournaments right now, semifinals, and so cheering for my boys there. Graduation parties, and this year we have a 13th birthday, a 16th birthday, an 18th birthday and graduation, and a 20th wedding anniversary, all in like a month and a half span. Wow. So it feels like it's like really, really, really a full season, but it's so wonderful to get to celebrate with those that we love and to have these people with us. So it's been a really great summer so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Clarita. Claudia, are you up next, Claudia, or Rosanna? Who's going
Yes,
next? We should do sisters.
I'm Clarita. Yes. Oldest sister. I'm the youngest sister out of 4. And so I kind of tag along behind her and aspire to be a lot of what she is.
No, it goes both ways.
But we've been married for 12 years. We have 5 boys and just a really full, busy life that I love so much.
Nice. Wow.
That's it.
That's it. So then how about the... Oh, wait, you're moving?
Today. Well, like part of the reason we're a few minutes late to the interview is like we're moving boxes to her house today. And she's in the process of actually moving. So it's really exciting.
And we bought this house from the Amish, so we're trying to put electric and AC back in and water, and it's like 100 degrees right now in Pennsylvania, so I look quite moist.
Whoa. Yeah, thank you for doing this. Moving is one of our least favorite things to do in the world.
All about that.
Well, I mean, I don't know, not about doing it in 100-degree,
Whose home are you in right now?
We're in my attic right now of my old house.
Wow. You guys are hardcore. Thanks for doing this. Okay, Rosanna, the unrelated sister. Can we hear from you?
Yeah. Just the friend.
No, it's not sister.
I love that they include me in this. And so I've been married to Dean, and we are having our 19th anniversary next month. And our children are from almost Clarita's, pretty much Clarita's same ages, almost 18 down to age 5. And so pretty much all the things that Clarita's children are doing, we're doing. We just came out of a week of Bible school where we were cooking every night for almost 200 staff. And so also, I do not have air conditioning at my house in 100 degrees. So this is
But that's a choice.
It's a choice.
That's a choice. I don't understand.
So why the choice? Why no AC? You guys have humidity back there too.
She's secretly Amish.
In my younger years, it's about 80. It was about 85% humidity, I believe, here. So it's been crazy. But we did put units in our bedrooms, which we normally do. So we're okay at night. We do not have central air in our house yet. And so I am very much against the big window units that take up the whole window. And so I just say I'd rather do without.
Yeah. There you go. For the aesthetic. Do it for the aesthetic.
Yes. I don't blame you, because at our last house, we did not have any AC, and we didn't have that type of heat, but still there'd be a couple months every summer.
The tent?
Well, no, not that one. The house before the tent. Yeah. But thanks for clarifying. So, and that was always the conundrum, was it's like these things look terrible in the window, but it keeps us cool.
We did end up putting one in the living room though. So we buckled.
Yep.
Got too hot.
We compromised. Okay, well, ladies, I'd love to hear about, you put on this event, the Wellness Collective, which is just a phenomenal event that Katie and I both had the privilege of being at last year. I felt extremely privileged because this is a woman's event, and I was somehow added to the guest list. And so I felt really privileged to have the inside scoop there. But can you maybe, in your own words, walk us through maybe going back to 2020 and then kind of when this conversation started around putting on an in-person event and how that transpired?
I just remember in 2020, I was like trying to build my social media, and I was sharing about kind of medical freedom and stuff. And my account kept getting taken down with all the craziness that was happening with COVID. So I think the 5th or 6th time that happened, I was pretty fed up. And I was like, man, if we could get people together in person, you aren't going to have this overreach of Zuckerberg or whoever is running the show. And you can just like share biblical truth. You can encourage the mothers, the women. And Clarita and Rosanna were just like the natural fit. We all were getting talking together. And Rosanna...
We go to church. The 3 of us go to church together.
Yeah. Clarita and I have always loved running events. And Rosanna, her mom's part of like running this massive event in Lancaster for the Amish. Massive, like thousands of people. So we're like, Rosanna, you have the bloodline.
So the year RFK came to speak at that event was just a couple of years ago. And I think that Amish event was reached 10,000 guests at the event. So yeah, that's been a really neat event in our area. And that was kind of where we being the idea.
I kind of started talking. Yeah. So we also, like, all three of us are, have interest in natural wellness. So kind of birthed out of 2020, you know, all the COVID stuff that was happening. And so we all, previous to that, were already into natural wellness, ways to assist our families in more holistic ways. So we wanted to bring in a like physical wellness aspect, but even more than that, we decided to call it the Wellness Collective because we wanted it to be a whole person wellness experience, not just focusing on the physical part, but also as mothers, the emotional side, the physical, spiritual, like kind of the all-encompassing, like the entity of what a woman does, a wife in her home. She's responsible for the physical, yes, but also the emotional needs of her children, the spiritual health of her family in ways. So we wanted to combine all of that. And so that's where the title came from, Wellness Collectively, in like the whole aspect of that. So,
and for all the years of the Wellness Collective, we only had women speakers until last year, Elisha, when you like took the stage, and people loved it so much. They were like, more of this, please.
I don't believe that.
No, we love that actually, because we felt like it was so inspiring, because a lot of our audience that comes are mothers and wives, and we just really loved what you guys brought together to share together. We just thought it was so inspiring for them to see a husband and wife and family there together, and it just brought more of a whole aspect to it rather than just like a woman speaking. It really brought more of a rounded aspect. So that was very well received.
Awesome.
So thank you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Having you there.
Yeah, you guys, it was a 5-star experience from start to finish. And it's mind blowing to me that you guys have done this every year since 2020, because was your first one in 2021 or was it? Yes. Okay. So it's just nuts to me because everything from the kids still talk about the ula bowls that we had there. And they're like, can you make ula bowls? I'm like, we just don't have them out here. We're trying to find like an acai bowl place. Yeah, it was just everyone I try to explain it to. I'm like, it's like a wedding for like everyone's getting married. It's like what it feels like. You're all the bride of honor. And so how do you guys, did you go into this knowing like we want to do it at the Star Barn? We want it to be this 5-star event. You guys said you have experience putting on events before. You girls, you sisters, what kind of did that look like?
Oh, did I speak up? Did we put on events before?
Maybe I misheard.
Events at church and things like that.
Yeah.
So when we started talking, we really wanted it to be an experience where, you know, we were like, okay, so we really started from scratch. Like, what do we want this day to be like? What do we want the women to experience? And because a lot of them are mothers, we especially wanted them to really feel like this is a day that they're being given to. So whether it's aesthetically in like what they see visually, what they are given as far as food, they don't have to cook that day. They don't have to bring any snacks or food at all. Like we just wanted them to be given to and have a really quality experience and for them to really feel pampered. So I think a lot of our planning came out of that. Like, how can we help them to have this kind of experience? What does that look like in like the practical aspects that we have planned for the day in the food and the decor? Just all parts of it, really. Yeah.
And our original idea when we talked about this was to have it in a tent at one of our farms, and our husbands said no.
Yeah, they totally vetoed that.
Logistically, they were like, this will not work.
And we're so glad they did veto it.
So moving on to the Star Barn, which has been so much better than any tent in our backyard.
It's so true.
Could have been. But they also wanted to know, do you want to talk about how we got to the Star Barn?
Oh, I think the Star Barn was the only place that didn't require masks. I think, right? That's why we chose them.
Yeah. So back in 2021, our area was still really stringent with lots of guidelines surrounding that whole era. And we wanted it to be a place where people wanted, if they were concerned, they were free to come with whatever they needed to wear, do all of that. But to have a place where it wasn't mandatory.
Mhm.
And so the Star Barn actually has been incredible and so supportive of our vision for the event, wholeheartedly supportive, and wants us there and keeps inviting us back there year after year. So it really feels like God has been in every part of the planning, from the speakers that have come, to the venue, to the people that have been partnering with us in sponsorships, like just so many different things. It's just felt like God has been such a part of it, which is our prayer, because we don't want it to be, I mean, we can do all the beautiful things in the world, but if the Lord is not in it and his spirit is not there, it will be empty. So we really are so grateful for the way that he really has brought the people and the venue and the different things to bring it together each year. So it's really been faith building for us to see, because each year we're like, do we do this again? Do we not? We actually don't go into it every year saying this will be a yearly event. We take a little break after each one and say, are we supposed to do this again next year or not? And just hold it with an open hand. And so plans are for 2025, but we don't know after that. So we'll see.
Okay, real quick. If you're looking for music lessons for your family, piano lessons, guitar lessons, fiddle lessons, ukulele lessons, mandolin lessons, you can subscribe to Voteberg Music Academy and get lessons for the whole family. Subscribe to the piano course, one subscription, get you piano lessons for the whole family. Subscribe to guitar, that gets you guitar lessons for the whole family. We'll link it below. You get a special discount, and you can see that below by listening to our podcast. That's how you get the discount. Go check it out. Yeah, that's great. Well, it's, believe it or not, I grew up going to a lot of women's events because me and my family would play music at a lot of them. And something that struck me about your guys' event was how inspirational it made. It made motherhood. It made, leading a family, leading a household, or, being the keeper of a home. It made it look really good, which I thought was really uncommon based off of a lot of the, well, yeah, and not to, bag on these other events. I'm sure they were serving a purpose, but it was just kind of like there were these thrown together events on a shoestring budget. Everybody was stressed out that was there, and then it was going back to your stressed out, motherhood home. Whereas this felt like not only a reprieve, but a launching pad for women, where it wasn't, we're just escaping the drudgery of motherhood. It's like, no, we're going to recharge you, so you get to go back to this glorious work that God has called you to. And that was really impactful, I think, for both of us to see. And it's a sentiment that we want to communicate around family in general. We don't want our kids to ever feel like we're escaping from them or we're retreating from them when we're going on a date night or when we're going away. It's like, no, we care about you guys. This is the awesome mission. We're going to recharge so that we can do even better at this awesome mission. So I think you really accomplished a unique thing there. I'm curious, because Chris, Ben, Dean, they were all pretty involved from my perspective. Did it start out with needing all hands on deck from the family, from your older kids, because we've only tried to do a couple small events and it took it out of us, we were like, hey, we're not doing that again. Was there anything that caught you off guard in regards to just the energy, the effort that it took to put on an event? And I do think Chris actually pieced out after the first day. And so that we were there, Dean and Ben were there till the bitter end. Chris apparently had more important things to do, but no, I'm joking. But was there anything that caught you guys off guard in regards to just the effort that it took to put on an event like this?
Oh man. Chris, the second day for a couple years, he's had my kids and Clarita's kids. So I
think that is what he did last year. He actually took a bunch of our kids
the year before
and went hiking with them for the day, because to get somebody to watch our collective children there's a lot of kids between all of us. So
well, good for Chris. Good for Chris. I'm glad we were able to set the record straight on what Chris was doing that whole time. That's great.
Thinking with that having this holiday.
It's just how much work it is. We're all like, what? Why is this so much work? It just feels like a lot of work to pull off an event like this. And we all just pour hours and hours. Last year was especially that way because we were launching a website and became an LLC and a whole bunch of things.
Yeah. And I think it feels like we've been very organized from the start, but each year there's new people involved in every aspect. So it almost like we start all over again each year. So I think each year we're like, wow, this is just so much work, but it's really something that we have loved to do also. And But I feel like we all pull a really heavy load throughout the year. We kind of have our delegated things that we've been in charge of, and that's worked really well. And like I've said it from the year one, but this is a dream team, and everybody pulls really hard with their responsibilities and is very committed to the mission and the vision and like pulling their part of the weight, and couldn't do without that really.
And for the months of planning, it's basically the three of us doing most of the work. But then, and our husbands are pretty hands off. But then when it comes down to the days of, it is all hands on deck.
Yeah.
And they are very supportive.
Yeah,
and so we really appreciate that.
They really are.
So how do you guys kind of divvy up responsibilities?
How does that happen?
I don't know.
Or is it just kind of like, who wants to take this? This needs to be done. And then, it's just kind of show of hands.
And it kind of has to do with who's good at what.
Yeah, they kicked me off the finances.
Claudia is like the tech person. And
I was trying to play some like credit card reward games and all this different stuff, and was just, I got kicked off.
Credit card.
That's funny. Yeah, you guys have clearly figured out how to work in each other's strengths, which is a power. Which that's what makes a dream team. I'm curious as to if the heart or the mission or the vision of the event has shifted from that that inaugural event, and then you kind of heard feedback, or maybe you saw the needs differently than what you perceived the needs of these women being, and you kind of pivoted. Or is that the type of thing that you're listening to after each event, where you're thinking, man, because I think as culture shifts, as society ebbs and flows, women might feel, different hardships in different areas of life. Have you noticed any shifting in that? Or do you feel like, no, this is just what women need each and every year, and you kind of stick to these, timeless, biblical truths that women almost always need? Or has that been kind of an ongoing kind of fluid thing?
I think, when we focus on wellness, we generally think of a speaker to bring the physical aspect of wellness, the motherhood aspect, and the spiritual aspect. So kind of those three components. And so we have continued in a lot of those from one year to the next, but it is really neat to see how, so like say Elisa Childers was there one year, and her focus was the spiritual aspect, but her passion is the historic Christianity, apologetics, really coming back to don't lose your ground. Don't get into progressive Christianity. And so that we felt like that was actually a really incredible timing, just in light of all that's happening in the Christian churches, and evangelical Christianity is struggling. Like there's some aspects that are like, her message was very timely. We'll just say that. And so it's really neat to see how, even though we have kept kind of that first course that we started on, how there's been speakers that have really brought out different aspects that we maybe didn't really even realize were so needed, and that we've heard back after those particular events, like, thank you for bringing that speaker, or those particular things were really so needed this year. So
or even like the fact that last year we had you as a husband wife, that was really never had done that before, and we got so much good feedback that we're doing that again this year, having a husband and wife on stage. Like that would be something that would keep shifting. But we are continually like, hey, is this needed? Is the Wellness Collective filling a need? Or
right.
So I think for next year we'll evaluate that and be like, maybe it's not needed right now, maybe we'll take a break.
Right.
No breaks for you. It's always needed. That was just such a phenomenal event.
Just keep reading your emails. These girls, every meeting we have, they're like, have you read their email? It's so funny.
No, we love your weekly emails.
We do. Clarita and I
are big fans.
I also do, but they especially just laugh.
Sometimes
and laugh.
you have to explain your jokes to her, Elisha.
Well,
I feel like that's like
We love to try.
50% of people. I'm like, they might get it, they might not. We'll see.
No. Well, thanks for saying that. And Katie helps me on those emails too.
Not with the jokes. I just read it back to you. That's what I do. And we both laugh at it ourselves, and then we send it out.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you
Great.
saying that.
Your speakers for this year.
Yes, we have. We each still take a speaker.
Yeah. Do we, Rosanna? Who's a speaker?
Who's your speaker you want to talk about?
So our first speaker is RuthAnn Zimmerman. I'm assuming maybe you guys know her or know of her. And the crowd, our guests, they're so excited to have her. And I think that was
A fan favorite.
Yes, a huge vote after last year that people were saying, we just wish RuthAnn would come. And she has agreed to come. She's coming, and she's bringing her 5 sisters along. And I think I believe some of them live here in Lancaster and maybe some elsewhere. I'm not sure, but she's bringing 5 sisters with her. So we are so excited.
Wow, what a party.
That's a fun one.
I'm really excited about Rachel Zwayne. She is kind of like an Elisa Childers type of voice in this world and just so unapologetic for the truth. And I grew up watching videos of her dad, Ray Comfort, like talking on the streets and evangelizing. And I don't know how I feel about the whole street evangelism thing, but I felt like such a kinship with him growing up. Like I just love the boldness for Christ and unwavering dedication to the word of God. And so I think I'm really excited for her to just bring that, because I think if I could do anything in the world, it would just be like preach fire and brimstone. Like the Lord is coming back, repent and believe. And so I kind of connect with those speakers a lot. We're just like straight and narrow, black and white.
But she has such a heart for motherhood. Like that's really her focus. And her youngest has now graduated. And so she really she feels like she's coming into her mission really as encouraging mothers. And really that's her passion, is like gospel-centered motherhood. So that's exciting to have her come.
That is exciting.
We're also having, are you familiar? I don't know if you have
Well, no,
heard
I
of her
cut you
before,
off, but it's funny because I actually didn't know about, is it Rachel Zwayne? Is that how you say it? Until a couple weeks ago, but we interviewed Ray Comfort recently, like a couple weeks ago. And so when I was getting ready for, cause I've loved Ray Comfort my whole life. But then I realized that, his daughter's married to another one of their personalities there at Living Water. Is it Easy? Is that what you call it? Or they call him Easy Zwayne. And so then I got looking at some of their family stuff and I was like, wow, they've got awesome resources and content for family. So I think that's a phenomenal guest that's going to just contribute a ton of value, I think, to your audience. That gets me really excited.
Yeah, another speaker is Ruth Simons, which a lot of people are familiar with. Like she's had such a heart for encouraging women in the Word, devotionals, and just through the Word of God. So we're really excited about her as well, kind of as a mentor figure to a lot of the younger women and younger mothers that are coming. So together, we're really excited about the 3 of them and what they're preparing and the words that they'll be bringing as encouragement. And I love what you said earlier, that what you felt from the event, because that's really our prayer and our heart, is that it's something that the women can come to and be encouraged that day, but where it's something they take with them when they go home. And it's not just like, oh, that was such an encouraging day, I'm so glad I got away. No, like, oh, I'm so excited to go back to my family and really pour into them in love and passion and devotion, and like view that as their calling in their ministry. So I love that you felt that, because that's really our heart for it, and where it's not just an escape, but where it's like this encouragement that the Lord seeps into their souls to take back with them as they return to where they're called.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. Yeah, what were you going to say? Sorry, we've got a lag here. I'm just having a...
So in place of the Q&A this year, we're going to do another couple, which would be Jason and Emily from Really Very Crunchy. So that's kind of like playing off with the couple vibe, which I love.
Oh, fun.
They are a fun duo. I just crack up. Speaking of comedy, they're like comedy sketches on YouTube. I'm like, they're just such a great duo. Like I loved Emily's stuff, but then with Jason added in, it's just, I don't know, took it to the next level.
Yeah, we want to get them on our podcast, and so put a word in for us next time you talk to them. No, they're hard to pin down.
We'll convince them when we have them in person.
Yeah, there you go. I know. Add that to your list of 2,000 things to do.
Yeah,
kitchen for us.
It also probably our day or our year when the Star Barn staff told us last year that they all argue about who gets to work the days of our events because it's their favorite event of the year. So that was really sweet and encouraging to hear. They said everyone that comes is like the nicest guests that they had, and they just love to hear the sessions. So that was really inspiring to us.
Wow, that really is powerful, because I guess some of the little time I spent in like the restaurant industry when we would cater events, Christian events didn't always have the best reputation. It was like the opposite oftentimes, was kind of like, oh, don't sign me up for that event. That was kind of the sentiment. And obviously that's so unfortunate, considering that we are ambassadors for Christ. We are carrying his reputation forward and everything that we do. And so that's really powerful that I guess that message, or the messaging and what's being received on every level there is that positive. Something I wanted to ask about is how you go about choosing or selecting or qualifying your vendors, because we talked about different aspects of the event, the speakers, which is great, the food, which was incredible, the venue. But honestly, the vendor hall in it of itself was like an event. You're like, wow, this is incredible. And is that just because you have attracted those types of people, or have you sought out those types of people? Because the products that are offered, the people, manning the booths, like add to the whole event. And I think that that's a really powerful thing. We talked about that when we were coming home. We're like, if we ever have vendors, we need to use whatever like criteria, they use to have these vendors come. So how has that come about?
Did you guys buy anything last year in the vendor area?
I have my permanent jewelry, my bracelet, my gold bracelet.
Yeah, you can't really see it. But
I love it. It reminds me of the event. So yeah, I also got a hat. So, and I think we got a few things.
I got a couple books. There was gals that had like vintage books, and I got a couple of those, which was really fun.
Yeah, well, the whole Makers Market is Rosanna's department. She's done a phenomenal job with that. So I'm going to let you answer.
Well, you guys helped me out this year. But we do curate that. We try to curate the vendors very carefully. One reason being to just have a wide variety. But also we have a Google Doc form that they have to fill out, and it asks different questions.
Like application form.
Yes, application form. So it asks them different questions about their business and what they sell. And we really try and cater it to like a maker's market and really small businesses. And also, we do stalk their Instagram. So it helps if they have an Instagram page, because otherwise we don't really know anything. So we kind of go to each person and just like look at their products and be like, yes, this looks like it would be a really good fit. And we need someone in this category. Unfortunately, we get probably at least twice as many applications as what we can accept. So we do have to cut about 50%, which is really sad. But we do try and just keep it a very beautiful and just products that we think that women would really love. And these women that the vendors, they pour their heart and soul into it, and they work for months. But we have really been encouraged that they tell us that this is their best event that they go to.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had some people like last year, the year before, we've had some people who were like, I couldn't get a ticket this year. The tickets are all sold out, but can I come shop at Makers Market? Because that's where I buy all my Christmas gifts, or that's where I love to go shopping for birthday presents or whatever. So yeah, Rosanna's done such a great job with all of that. And I think too, the three of us and our families are all like entrepreneurial families and own our own businesses or things like that. So we really have a heart for those small businesses, and a lot of the ones that we accept are ones that are smaller, not huge organizations as much as just those small businesses that are like really making a difference in their families' incomes and really help support what they're doing in their families.
Yeah, well, you do an exceptional job, because it is fun to walk through and it's beautiful. And I think I love how you call it the Makers Market. I think what I associate with vendor halls is like big homeschool conferences where it's just like plastic tables and like just curriculum, and it's just like ugly as all get out, but you're like there for the goods. I don't know, but this was just a full experience and I loved it. So, okay, you mentioned you're entrepreneurial though. What are some things that you guys do outside of this gigantic event that you plan every year?
Oh my.
What did I know? Wow.
Chris and I, we have like a design and renovation business we do together. And that's one thing. And then we also do Airbnbs. And I also like to buy and resell things. So we have like a lot of side
And real estate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Different side gigs going on. Rosanna?
So we have just a little hobby farm that we live on. So we sell beef off of our farm, and I help my husband with just kind of the accounting side of his family business. And so I get to do that from home, which is really, really nice. And that keeps me really busy.
Oh, and you run sourdough classes. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I haven't in a while. At times I do sourdough classes out of my home. So just really varying things.
She is the sourdough queen. This is the coolest thing about her sourdough classes. Her sourdough starter is over 100 years old.
Whoa.
So it's been passed down from generations. And so I am proud to have one of her sourdough babies that I bake with, but I got it from Rosanna, who was the one, like you were really the one who got me into sourdough, like probably 10 years ago or something like that. And so, but she was kind of the one doing sourdough in our area before it kind of became this craze. Like she was the OG sourdough person.
2020.
It was before people really knew what sourdough was. So she's been doing it long before it was cool, and really is so great at that.
Yep.
Have you met anyone that has a older starter than you?
Not really. I don't think so. But a lot of people will tell me, I mean, I hear that a lot of people have a 100-year-old starter, but then I realize that it's actually one of my sourdough babies. So it's gotten passed around to hundreds of people. It's in Mexico. It's in Canada. It's just makes its way across.
So
and
cool.
My sister-in-law, who is on missions in the hill mountains of Mexico, she messaged me the other day and she said, hey, we had someone passing through from a different part of Mexico, and we got to talking about sourdough, and she told me her sister went to this sourdough class and got this amazing starter, and then she was moving to Mexico, so she said, well, could she dry it and take it with her? And so she dried it, took the starter with her, and now she's like, I'm making amazing sourdough here in Mexico. And my sister-in-law in Chihuahua is like, well, who is that? And here it was from me. So it's just so fun to see how far and wide it's
But do the vote for that one of your baby.
We should have included the basket last year.
That would be remarkable. That needs to be a book, though. What about just like following
the start?
Yeah, and just like the journey and how many countries it's in and how many homes it's impacted. That is something special. That's awesome. Yeah.
So
That would be
cool.
fun.
All right,
So
Clarita,
my
did you say
fam-
what you and Ben do? Yeah.
So my husband is mostly real estate investing, rental properties, and we have several Airbnbs as well. We also have a hobby farm, so we raise our own beef that we personally use, but we also sell organic grass-fed beef. We raise our own chicken and organic chicken, and so
No.
most times we do.
All her chickens get eaten.
Well, they did
By the foxes.
Our laying hens recently
Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, we keep our meat chickens in a chicken tractor, so that doesn't happen. And then,
Cereal flower planter.
I do have a weakness for growing flowers. It's true.
Wow. Well,
so
that's
hobby,
a good weakness.
yeah. I love to grow peonies and dahlias, and basically just love to grow crazy amounts of flowers.
She provided so many of the flowers, the florals, last year for the Wellness Collective. All those gorgeous dahlias.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. Good for you.
Dahlias are a labor of love too, with the whole digging and replanting, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's been a rough spring for them in our area because we've had so much rain. So they've actually, some of them are kind of drowning. So it's been a spring, but
Yeah.
it's kind of some of our hobbies and interests. So.
Wow, that's great. Now, so I don't think your event has ever not sold out, but if there's a chance that there's still availability at this 2025 event, how can our listeners, attend? When is this happening? Where can they get tickets? Is it a multi-day event this year? How does that all work?
Okay, so we run it for 2 days, but you only have to come one day. It's like a copy paste, and there are still tickets available now. And for 15% off, you can use the code now that we're a family.
Woo!
All caps.
All caps, I mean, or lower, same thing. But then you just come one day and you get to hear amazing speakers and be so blessed. Great food, great friendship. Really hard chairs to sit on though, but
October 21st and 22nd. It's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. So you pick which day works best for you to come. And if you come one of the days, it's the exact same content both days. We just opened it for 2 days to allow for more room for people to attend.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. I really encourage all of our listeners, the mothers listening, to look into your event. This is another thing. I didn't check before we started recording, but last year there was a live stream option. Is that an option this year? Or is that something that, we don't have to promote it if we're not supposed to promote it, but is that an option for people to also stream?
Yes, it is. It's on our website is wellnesscollectiveevent.com, and all of our tickets are available there. Live stream tickets are available there. All the information about the event, location, all of that, all the details are on wellnesscollectiveevent.com.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thanks again. And yeah, may the Lord just continue to bless your endeavors and your families. And thank you. Keep up the good work. That's all I have to say. Keep on keeping on. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.